Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about Singapore's AI regulations. So far we have talked about US AI regulation, Australia and also Canada's new AI strategy released on 4th June 2026. So today we're going to talk about Singapore. So if you're someone living in Singapore, working in Singapore, or you're an organization outside Singapore but trading in Singapore, these regulations will probably help you understand. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Lata, Head of AI Governance at Global AI Certification Council, where we offer AI governance certification. And I'm also Head of AI Governance at govern365.ai, which is an AI governance software tool built by Global AI Certification Council. So let's go ahead. So Singapore do not have a comprehensive AI law just like EU AI Act. They build on existing laws or they have some voluntary framework. So 4 major things that you need to know in terms of AI laws, strategy, and regulation. So that's what I've given here. Number 1, Singapore released their first AI strategy in 2019, and the second version was released in December 2023. So they clearly mentioned that AI has the highest priority in terms of country's growth. Number 2, voluntary frameworks. Different organizations publish different frameworks for AI governance. And also they have some AI verify guide on how to build and test AI responsibly. They have some toolkit. I'll tell you more information in the next few slides. This model framework was first released in 2019 and updated in 2020. The AI Verify guide was released in 2024, followed by another guide for generative AI in 2024. Then number 3, it's a binding rules. That's like all the laws and regulation, especially around personal data protection. First, it was enforced in 2014, but AI-related personal data regulations were added in 2024. And the most important thing is Agentic AI governance. Singapore is the first country to release their Agentic AI framework in January 2026. So let's go ahead and find out each of them and understand what you need to know if you're working for an organization in Singapore or selling it to people in Singapore. Let's go ahead. So number 1, the philosophy of Singapore's AI regulation. So they follow a simple thing. Number 1, they do not want to have any big AI law that restricts AI by risk level, which is almost similar to like EU AI Act. They don't want to do something like that. They want to use the voluntary frameworks that they can update quickly as technology changes. They don't want to have any heavy compliance rules upfront, so that they think that could slow down the AI innovation. They rely on existing laws. They just added some more information in terms of AI. So they are using the existing laws to do it. And they have created some new laws only for specific risks like AI deepfakes in elections. So who sets all of these rules and regulation? Number 1, IMDA, Infocom Media Development Authority. They actually lead the AI governance framework and also the AI Verify guide. Number 2 is PDPC, which is Personal Data Protection Commission. They run the PDPA Act, and also that's the main binding rule for personal data. Then is MAS, which is Monetary Authority of Singapore. They actually set expectations for finance that are AI that are used in finance. CSA, Cybersecurity Agency, they help to guide how to secure AI systems. Then MDDI and Smart Nation, they actually created the National AI Strategy, and the National AI Council is chaired by the Prime Minister of Singapore. And they also have sector regulators for health, elections, employment bodies. They also add their own rules to protect people from AI. So here is a quick timeline of milestone. As you can see, 2019, the first model AI governance framework came in and the first national strategy also came in. 2020, second edition of model AI governance framework came in. 2023, AI Verify guide was launched and National AI Strategy 2.0 was released in December 2023. Then 2024, generative AI framework, PDPC AI guidelines, CSA securing AI guidelines, all that came in 2024. And Singapore has the first Agentic AI framework that was released in January 2026. And also National AI Council was formed. That's an update from NAS as well. So let's talk about the national strategy, what it has. As I mentioned, it was launched on December 2023, especially the 2.0. The first one was launched way ahead of that. The vision for that is AI is for the public good, for Singapore and the world. That's the core vision of that strategy. It builds on the existing strategy version 1.0, which was released in November 2019. It is primarily centered around 5 national AI projects. They have committed 1 billion Singapore dollars over 5 years to commit to this strategy. They focus on 3 systems, especially activity, people, and infrastructure. And there are 10 enablers across this strategy, and they have clearly mentioned 15 priority actions that needs to be taken to deliver the strategy. So, as I mentioned before, this is overseen by the Prime Minister of Singapore. And remember, I was telling you about the 3 systems and enablers. So 3 systems, activity, people, and infrastructure. And I've mentioned all the enablers. And I've also on the bottom, I have mentioned remember I was telling you about the 15 priority actions that they need to take. It is starting from accelerating public sector AI adoption, tripling AI talent to about 15,000 people, expanding compute, expanding AI data centers, establishing new center of excellence for AI, and also use government data to do a lot of good things for people. So there are so many different priority things that they have written down on AI strategy. Next one is core governance frameworks. What are all the frameworks, voluntary frameworks created by Singapore? So number 1, the Model AI Governance Framework. As I mentioned, it was issued in 2019, updated in 2020. 2 core principles. Number 1, all the AI should be explainable. We need to know how AI makes decisions, transparent and fair. Number 2, it should be human-centric, considering people's safety and well-being as the first option before it's being designed and used. So then the next one is the framework for generative AI. There are around 9 dimensions. This is focusing on around the AI risks that are like bias, hallucination, security issues, data issues, safety, from design to development to deployment. What are all the issues you can face? Even after that deployment, what are the incidents that can happen? So the framework continuously shows about how to do from design to deployment, even the full complete life cycle. Next, the framework for agentic AI. So as I mentioned, Singapore is the first country to do it. And I'm going to have a full video about what is in the agentic AI. Because the interesting thing is, when you have agents, it understands the task, makes a plan, and just calls other agents and do the work. So there can be a lot of risk that can happen. So to protect that, Singapore's AI agentic framework is very comprehensive, and I read it and it was very useful for anyone using agentic AI in their organization. And few days ago, Australia also released their agentic AI framework. So I will compare both of them and make a video in the next few days. Then AI Verify, that's the guide I talked about. So it helps in testing and assurance of using AI. It's a free open source toolkit that turns AI principles into evidences. So people use it for procurement, contracting, and also making sure that the model behaves well, making sure it's explainable, fair, and transparent. Then next we come to the rules, like the laws, and also what other sectors have guidances, what frameworks do they offer. So all that comes in section number 4. So first one, PDPA. So Personal Data Protection Act, released in 2014, and the AI related Data Protection Act was updated in 2024 March. And then financial services have their own framework, which is called FEAT. It's about fairness, ethics, accountability, and transparency. It was issued by MAS, an organization, in 2018 and updated in 2019. This is also a voluntary framework, and it is supported by another assessment toolkit, and also it is used for review of AI model risk assessment as well. So then comes the CSA, the cyber security assessment. So CSA's guidelines are also there. So that comes across the whole life cycle, from design to development to deployment. And even if you want to dispose any AI, this completes the whole life cycle of it. And this is quite interesting because it addresses adversarial attacks, data risk, and also supply chain compromise. And also they have added some information about agentic AI to this particular guide, and it quite helpful across the complete life cycle of AI. Then again, few other sectors like healthcare released their own guidelines. It was issued by MOH, HSA, and IHIS. So it was released in 2021. And 2024, they had an Elections Act amendment that target digitally manipulated media, including AI deepfakes during polls. Then there is also a workplace-related AI protection, which is a fairness legislation that introduces anti-discrimination protections that can reach AI-driven hiring, because that is commonly happening, right? It even happened in Amazon as well. So they wanted to make sure that people are hired fairly. So now comparing it with the global context, Singapore and European Union, because European Union has the most comprehensive AI Act. So if you see European Union, it's a single binding law or act. But if you see Singapore is, apart from that PDPA, all other are voluntary frameworks. So if you see the enforcement are mostly, if you see in European Union, they have huge penalties. So that makes people enforce that law. But in Singapore, they're all voluntary. And also, of course, the laws they have, they are managing AI using their existing laws. So that comes to the end of it. So what it means for your organization, you need to make sure that if you are selling in Singapore or you're working in Singapore, we need to follow all these standards carefully. If you're procuring or you're doing any contracts, make sure that the data protection is done right. Make sure you generate evidence with that AI Verify guide. So you make sure that there are no malpractices used in AI. And if you are in specific sectors like finance, health, then make sure you follow those specific standards as well. So I've given some sources of information that I took out. I'll add it to the bottom of this video. Please do check it, and I'm sure it's more helpful for you. If you have any questions, please drop it down below. I really want to hear and want to make sure that I answer all of them. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you to see you in the next video. Thank you.